get that message out?
Well, to the point of why I don't think it has started is I think it goes to the point Dr. Page made, is that the governance of some of our school districts, they can't even work together. I mean, I've watched HISD over the past couple of years, and watching the school board just fall apart. I mean, there have been meetings where they've just ended just screaming at each other, and what they're supposed to be doing there is finding solutions for the kids, and nobody cares about that anymore, and that's lost. And what's frustrating about the criticism of Representative Dutton's bill is that, you know, they say that it's going to harm black and brown students, but what's worse, leaving them in a failing school or having the state take over and try to find a solution? And so, you know, a lot of that talk that I've heard at HISD and around town about that's really frustrating. In terms of what we can do, I think there are a number of things that are happening. So, for instance, there's this really interesting nonprofit in Houston called TXRX Labs. And I'm a huge fan of this organization. What they do is it's a makerspace. So they have a lot of different classes there for welding, woodworking, jewelry making, pottery, art, furniture, everything you can think of, even going into, you know, robotics and engineering and things like that. And they also have a program there specifically for the youth to train them in STEM work without a non-college track STEM work. So they can go there, get this education, whether it's after school or on the weekend during the summer. And if their goal isn't college, they can still find work in science, technology, engineering, or mathematics by going through this program. And so what this makerspace is doing is they're trying to bring small urban manufacturing back into cities, trying to give people opportunity to create more opportunity, to employ their neighbors, to build something where they are rather than having to travel out of their community to bring wealth back. And it's really amazing, and they're partnering to some extent with school districts to try to get kids these opportunities so that they can come in there. And again, if your track is not to go to college, whether it's because you personally don't want to do it, whether it's because of grades, whether it's because of finances, whatever the case may be, you still have an opportunity to create something. And what's really interesting about this program is that in 2018, well, it's not specifically this program, but small urban manufacturers as a whole in 2018 were responsible for 28% of the total manufacturing sales in the Houston region. It amounted to something like $33 million. And these are people who are making small batch products that you're, you know, seeing posted on Instagram or seeing sold on Facebook, or maybe there's a small website for it. But these aren't big organizations doing this work. These are individuals, sometimes 2-3 people who are doing this work and trying to create wealth in their communities. And I think that that's a good way for these folks who are stuck in these school districts to create opportunity and to get out of this cycle that a lot of them seem to be stuck in. And so I'm a huge fan of this program. I like to see more of them popping up. I think they're about somewhere around 70 or so in the general Houston area, and they're popping up all over the country. There's some in, I think, Chicago. There's one in Brooklyn now. There's some really awesome opportunity for people to get out there and learn how to create opportunity, because a lot of these folks, they might not have the resources to leave their neighborhood to go and get a job somewhere else. They might have a criminal conviction that prohibits them from getting the job that they want. There's a lot of reasons that they can't advance, and so being able to create your own job is just the most amazing thing. And that's, I mean, this ties into Prison Entrepreneurship Program, because what we do with that program is we train these guys on how to create a business plan. And they go, and we partner with Baylor, and Baylor does the curriculum, and they go through this entire business plan process and create a business plan, and it's supposed to be a viable business plan that they can accomplish when they get out. And there's support for them to do that. The program kind of surrounds them, puts them in a transition home. If they stay connected with the classes, there could be potential funding down the line for them. So a lot of these guys are doing that, and I keep saying guys because that's the population we serve for PEP. But they are creating opportunity for themselves because they couldn't find it elsewhere when they got out. And so I think a lot of it's going to go to that, is to try to find where you can build your own entity, your own opportunity where you are, because then you're helping your neighbors, you're helping your community, you're bringing all that back, and you're not waiting for government to find that solution for you, because if we keep waiting for HISD to do it, I don't know what's going to happen.
George.